What is going on, guys? What is going on, 27 Squad? Welcome back into another video. Listen, things are starting to heat up here in the 2021 NFL season. Football is here, especially New York Giants and New York Jets football is here, New York football in general. And so I got my guy Ian from JetsCentral here, and we're going to be talking some New York football, where we see our teams going in the future, and especially talking about this preseason game that just went on. We got a lot to talk about here. So, Ian, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. I appreciate the invite to come on.
Yeah, no problem, man. It's been a couple of actually years. I've been trying to do something with you. I just never got
I
around to
know, I
doing it,
know, I
man. I
know.
remember back a couple years ago, I was trying to. But with that being said, I mean, I want to talk to you a little bit about your team and how it's shaping up right now, because it's exciting to be a New York football fan right now. As far as the Giants and the Jets, the Bills, I don't even like to count them as much, but the Giants and the Jets, I mean, we've seen a lot of pain and depression from being a fan of these two teams in the past couple of years. But it seems like we're on the up and up recently, especially your team as well, as young as they are, new coach, brand new quarterback. I mean, talk to me about how you felt about this preseason game, seeing these new pieces in action, the coach, the quarterback. How do you feel about how they did last night?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was great. I mean, I felt like any Jet fan watching that game had to be pumped up, had to be encouraged after
Yeah.
watching it. I mean, Zach Wilson looked pretty good. The play calls were pretty solid from rookie offensive coordinator Mike LaFleur. Tons of youth all over the both offensively and defensively, and of course with Robert Saleh at the helm. He's going to bring the energy. So overall, it was just an exciting game. And yeah, it's preseason, and yeah, a bunch of players didn't play. Specifically for your Giants, Bradbury, Jones, Barkley,
Right.
Galladay,
Right.
just to name a couple. I felt like the entire, or like really the majority of the Giants' first team didn't even play. It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I really wanted to see some of our starters play, but literally the only starters that played were like four of our five offensive linemen that started. Our starters, that was it.
So
So,
how many starters were on defense, like with the first teamers out there?
I don't think any. Besides
Okay.
Tate Crowder and Reggie Ragland, they're battling for a spot. For some reason, like I said, they just completely benched everybody. I mean, we didn't see. I mean, Darnay Holmes, actually, you consider him a starter. He got some reps out there, and in the slot. But pretty much. I really want to see more guys out there, but we didn't see no Jabril, McKinney, Logan Ryan, any of our D line guys.
Leonard Williams, yeah,
Leonard,
Leonard's another
yeah,
guy who I was thinking about, or kind of hoping he was going to be out there, because really that interior offensive line for the Jets is like a weak point on the team. So I was pumped, because
same.
Leonard's a beast, and the Giants. I mean, the Giants playing the trenches is fantastic. So I was looking forward to that challenge, even if it was only going to be for a drive or two. But
Hmm.
to see all those guys on the sidelines, I'm like, man. But at the end of the day, it is preseason. Can't do much about it.
Yeah, I mean, and your quarterback, man, Zach Wilson. I mean, we've seen the Jets, constantly try out quarterbacks. A lot of hype were built around them. Sam Darnold, he's now the past, and you're moving on with Zach Wilson. I know, you guys were trying out right in Sam Darnold's ending of his tenure over there. You guys were trying out like Mike White, and he played. He did pretty well, and I think it was James Morgan. I know you guys were hyped about these other quarterbacks, but now you have Zach Wilson. Now he's supposed to be the guy, and it seems like you guys pretty much, I wouldn't say lucked out, but I know a lot of you guys wanted Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I pretty much penciled Trevor Lawrence to be a New York Jet as well, but then the Jaguars came and swooped him in. I mean, more specifically, Zach Wilson, how do you feel he performed last night, and do you see him being the guy, like definitively the guy for New York, for the New York Jets?
Yeah, I mean, it's always tough to say after like one preseason game, but I'll say this, like I was totally impressed. Now I don't want to put like Justin Herbert expectations on him or anything like that, but I felt for the most part, he was decisive. The arm strength was on full display, the quick release. He had command of the offense, no turnovers, which I thought was huge.
Hmm.
Converted on a couple third downs, hung in the pocket, so the mobility and the pocket presence was on full display.
Yeah.
So, 6 for 9, 61 passing yards, no TDs, no interceptions. I felt like like if I had to give a grade on it, I would say B to a B plus. Again, not elite, not
Right.
these crazy things. And then of course, like we talked about before, it was preseason. No Bradbury, no Leonard Williams. A bunch of these guys are
Yeah.
missing. So compared to a couple of the other rookie quarterbacks like Lawrence and Trey Lance and Mac Jones, like I get on paper. It's exciting to see the exact stats and the highlight types of plays with like the Lance 80-yard bomb, but it's truly tough to tell because you don't really know what the plans are for these opposing defenses, like who's actually going to be out there. Because I mean, if that was the true Giants first team defense, I felt like maybe it would look a little different. If Bradbury and these guys were
Yeah.
out there,
Yeah.
but I mean, at the end of the day, we can only play who's across the field from us. And I thought Zach did a solid job.
Yeah, I was definitely impressed with him. I know the numbers, like obviously people want to see the numbers. They want to see like multiple touchdowns, multiple, yards in the 200s or whatever. But in my honest opinion, I was very, very impressed with Zach Wilson. And it seems like the Giants and the Jets just seem to be trending up together. I know the Giants pretty much started their rebuild a little bit beforehand, but it seems like you guys have a good group of guys there to build with, and that could be competitive this season. I don't know. I don't want to speak too early about it, but could be competitive this season. Daniel Jones. We're still waiting to see what we're going to get from Daniel Jones. I mean, if we talk in terms of upside, I mean, I have to give the edge to Zach Wilson. I mean, if we're comparing ceilings here, I definitely think Zach Wilson has a bigger ceiling than Daniel Jones. So you guys definitely have the advantage there. Let's talk a little bit about the coaches. This is the second season we have with Joe Judge. And, to be honest, Joe Judge stole the hearts of every Giants fan. I mean, we all love him. And, pretty much the ownership is like giving him full reign on the team right now. That's how much he's pretty much dominated this team right now as far as his control. And you guys just got yourselves a new coach as well, after parting ways with good old Adam Gase. I don't know, my camera's unfocusing there, but good old Adam Gase is out of there, and now you guys are restarting with Robert Saleh. I mean, talk to me about him, how you feel about him, and maybe his chemistry with Zach Wilson and the coach. Do you see them gelling together and possibly building a future here with the Jets?
I do. I definitely do. And it's crazy, because you're obviously a big fan of the Giants. I felt like, and correct me if I'm wrong, McAdoo was the head coach before Judge, right? Or no, it was Pat Shermer.
Shermer, yeah,
it was
yeah.
Shermer. Okay, so
no difference there. I mean, I didn't like them both, but
right. I felt like it's crazy because I feel like the Giants are just like a year ahead of the New York Jets. Like as far as like a rebuild, I feel like the Jets 2021 season will be a lot like how the Giants played last year. Tough outs, great defensive football. Everybody's fully bought into the culture. They're fully bought into the the coaching staff, what they're preaching. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to be pointing fingers, throwing each other under the bus. It's kind of one team, one heartbeat. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's the goal for the Jets. I mean, of course, 10 wins is great. Making the wild card would be great, but I don't want to go into the season with we have to take into consideration. Right. We were 2-14 last year, mm-hmm. and we still have a bunch of holes on the roster. But with that said, I'm expecting 5 to 6 wins. That's what I'm shooting for. And I want to progress from week to week, or really quarter to quarter, like, 4 games here, 4 games there. I mean, if we look worse than we did at the end, if we look great early and then we completely fall apart, the wheels fall off towards the tail end of the season, I think it might be an issue. But with Saleh, with Mike LaFleur, the one thing that we all have to remember here is that this is their first rodeo as well. Right. Saleh has never been a head coach. Neither is Mike LaFleur, first time OC. He's not some 40-year veteran here. Mm-hmm. He has to develop a rookie quarterback. He's in there calling plays. He's installing his own offense for the first time. I feel like there's definitely going to be speed bumps pretty much along the way. And, I'm okay with that. It is what it is. It happens with young teams and young coaching staffs. Yeah,
and that is definitely the vibe I got from this New York Jets team as well. It just seems like everybody's more united than most other teams, and it definitely reminds me of my own team in the New York Giants. I mean, Robert Saleh is a rah-rah coach, and he's like, and he's not all about that, all that, camera stuff, like, Dan Campbell and all about, trying to woo the crowd or anything. He just seems down to the point. He's a leader of men. Really like what I see from Robert Saleh, especially when he was in San Francisco. You had a bunch of players that were speaking out and vouching for him. And yeah, I definitely think you guys have something there with your coach as well, and especially with your quarterback. And that was just a question I was about to ask you about how many wins do you think the Jets were going to get? You said 5 or 6. What's your strength of schedule looking like? Is it a difficult schedule, a weak schedule? What's it looking like?
So early, it's pretty tough. I mean, we have some tough outs. New England, Denver, Atlanta. Just the way the schedule's set up early, I feel like we might struggle a little bit. We might be 2-4 around that area, but towards the I want to say 75% through the regular season, that's when things really start to look up. Obviously we play in a really tough division. The Bills twice, they're great. Miami, barely missed the playoffs last year. They only got better this offseason. And then, of course, New England making all these crazy moves. You would assume that they would be better as well. Also, Cam Newton, second year in the McDaniel system. So, unfortunately, because we play in the AFC East, it's going to be a tougher ride than maybe a team in the AFC South or something like that. But again, I'm really not trying to put these huge 10, 11, 12 wins expectations on this year. As long as we keep getting better, as long as everybody's buying in, and as long as we're just playing as a team and we're competing to the end every single Sunday, I'm cool with it. I would expect 5 to 6 wins from the team, which, I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't sound that impressive. It doesn't sound that appealing, but coming off of a 2-win year, we're tripling our win total possibly.
Right.
I think there should be, I think there's something that needs to be said about that.
Yeah, I completely understand where you're coming from. Like last year with the Giants, going 6-10, I was completely okay with it. I mean, like everybody, of course, New York media and New York Twitter, running rampant and wanting to fire everybody off the bat. But our team, I completely forgot what our team went previous year. I think it was 4-12 or 5-11, something like that. But we're progressing, right? That's what a rebuilding team really does. And I was completely okay with going 6-10. Learning from our mistakes and coming back next year and being even better. So I completely understand what you're saying there. And on top of that, we won some games we probably should have lost. Like we snuck out with a win against Seattle, out of all teams. Yeah. So like it's like there were a lot of bright spots in this season, that was hidden in this 6-10 sort of number that everybody doesn't like. But, it's not always about the record when it comes to rebuilding and things like that. So I completely understand what you're saying there. You mentioned the AFC East, how tough it is in the AFC East to compete in there. Obviously, the Patriots kind of slowing down a little bit, maybe giving you guys a chance to catch up a bit. Same thing here in the NFC East. It's although it's a terrible division, we're all terrible together in the NFC East, so it's still competitive. So at the end of the day, that's going to be a challenge for the Giants as well. We have a shot to win the NFC East. Don't know if it's really likely. Washington's looking really good. Dallas is always a threat. I'm not too worried about Philadelphia. But how long do you think the Jets are going to take to finally claim the AFC East throne? Do you see them anytime in the future, especially with your young coach and your young coaching staff and your young quarterback? Do you see them winning the AFC East in the near future?
I mean, it's definitely a big question because you don't know how draft picks are going to pan, like future draft picks, like where the Jets going to be picking in 2022 and 2023. And whatnot. But I'll say this, the Jets have a lot of young core pieces. I personally, and we haven't seen a single game of Robert Saleh and whatnot, but I fully believe in the coaching staff. I didn't really feel that way about Adam Gase. I was kind of indifferent on the whole Todd Bowles hire at the time. At first, like I was scratching my head a little bit, but I kind of bought in after he got hired, and then obviously the 10-win season. But looking at Robert Saleh, I feel really, really good about the direction and the vision, the goals that this team has. And we, when we take a look at the draft, we also have Seattle's first-round pick. We have Carolina's second-round pick. So we have 2 1s. We have 2 2s next year. And look, if the Jets finish with 5 wins, 6 wins, that's possibly a top 10, top 11 pick to begin with. So I feel like this team just needs to continue to lay down the bricks, continue to add young talent to this
Mm-hmm.
team. And slowly but surely, I want to say eventually we'll be there, right next to the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, a lot of work needs to be done. Buffalo is fantastic. I mean, they just fire on all cylinders. They have everything figured out, front office down to the players.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to say, to really answer your question here, I would say probably 2023. I would see, if ever, assuming everything goes well, barring any crazy injuries, 2023, I feel like we can be on the same level as Buffalo.
Okay, yeah, I could definitely see that as well. And I tell you what, if the Jets keep drafting the way they are, they'll be on the right track. I really liked you guys' draft. Definitely, I really liked it. By the way, any word on Elijah Moore? I didn't see him out there. Is he hurt or?
Yeah, so crazy story. He actually got hurt the last practice before the game. He had
Ah,
a quad thing. Yeah, so nobody. I mean, at first, I think like a full day pass, everybody's holding their breath a little bit because I mean he's been tearing up training camp,
mm-hmm.
and everybody's like, "How serious is it?" Like, I mean, because I think Salah said it probably required an MRI, and everybody's like, again, holding their breath, like
Oh
looking at
man.
the situation, like, "Please be okay." But he's quote unquote fine. I think they might. I mean, there's a chance that he could be held out of practice these next couple of days, but he should be good to go for Green Bay. But I mean, you take a look at what Moore did in Ole Miss and what he's done so far.
Yeah.
I feel like he's going to be a huge, huge, huge piece for the offense this upcoming season.
Yeah, he was definitely a guy that I wanted the Giants to target if it came down to the second round. We're
And,
doing.
and
Go
I,
ahead.
I hate to cut you off, but what's
Yeah.
funny is that I was really looking at Kadarius Toney
That's funny.
going to round two because I thought Elijah Moore was definitely going round one, and I thought Kadarius Toney maybe he could be there in round two. I
Yeah.
doubt it, but
Yeah.
maybe. And then when the Giants took him, I was like, damn, like this kind of sucks, but he's not going to be there. But Elijah Moore fell past Green Bay, he fell past New Orleans
Mm-hmm.
and Baltimore, so I'm like, I was pumped at 34.
Yeah, he's going to be a fantastic piece for Zach Wilson to use. And we're dealing with the same situation there. Kadarius Toney has like an undisclosed injury we don't know about.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't play in the preseason game as well. And so we don't even know what's going on with him as well. So it sucks right now. These are two pass catchers we really had high hopes for and we really want to see already. But yeah, guys, that is the video. Thank you, Ian, for joining me here to talk some Giants football and some Jets football. Where can people reach you, man?
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I just want to say thanks again. It's
Hmm.
always a blast, and it won't be the last time for sure. But
Yeah.
yeah, I run a YouTube channel called JetsCentral. Same thing on Twitter, Jets_Central, and yeah, you can pretty much find me there.
All right. With all that being said, guys, thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Ian, for joining. And yeah, we'll see you guys soon.